She was like, Jacqueline, if they play Getaway Car or Maroon, she's on crisis watch.
Anything that has to do with technology creating opportunity for us, I find very...
Hi, this is Eileen. For decades, Disney has been the ultimate gold standard in family entertainment, a powerhouse of creativity that has crafted iconic stories and captured hearts worldwide. From kids to adults, everyone has flocked to Disney's magical releases, trusting them to deliver unforgettable, timeless experiences. But let's face it, even legends stumble sometimes. Disney, despite its glittering reputation, hasn't been immune to creative missteps. And now, the company finds itself in the spotlight for all the wrong reasons. The latest controversy? The live-action remake of Snow White? What was supposed to be a dazzling new chapter in Disney's legacy has turned into a storm of backlash, thanks to lead actress Rachel Zegler. It all started innocently enough. Rachel, a breakout star after her show-stopping performance in West Side Story, seemed like a perfect choice for stardom. With her powerful voice and magnetic charm, Disney quickly crowned her as the new Snow White, excited by her fresh energy and modern appeal. The announcement was celebrated as bold, progressive, and a fresh twist on the classic fairy tale. But then, boom, the controversies snowballed. Fans were taken aback when Rachel took to social media, urging followers to unfollow her if they didn't support her political views. Many found this unnecessary and divisive, a move that risked alienating a big chunk of the audience. Disney, seemingly charmed by her youthful energy and activism, shrugged it off, believing it would resonate with socially conscious younger fans. But the damage had been done. The seeds of controversy were already sprouting. In Hollywood, star se cuyas, power can often outshine a misstep if balanced by undeniable talent or humility. But for Rachel and Disney, the fallout was just beginning.
It was like that for a lot of us. It's easier for me than it was for Tom because I wasn't playing a character that had already existed in the previous film. And those performances are so wonderful that you don't want to try to recreate anything because there's the fear of failing miserably. But also it's 64 years before the original films take place, the original books, and Francis Lawrence, who directed Catching Fire and both Mockingjay films, and Nina, who produced all of the Hunger Games content, they didn't put any pressure on us to try to recreate anything.
At first, Rachel seemed to glide through the spotlight with grace. She spoke openly about her background and identity during the West Side Story promotions, earning applause for bringing much-needed attention to representation in Hollywood. But as she ventured further into the public eye, more and more missteps began to surface. One incident that grabbed headlines was her public outcry over not being invited to the 94th Academy Awards, despite West Side Story snagging multiple nominations. Some thought she had a right to be upset, but her response? Posting about lounging in sweatpants and her boyfriend's flannel while griping about the snub. The tone felt a bit self-absorbed, and Twitter exploded with mixed reactions. While some defended her, others saw it as a sign of ingratitude. Disney stepped in, securing her a last-minute invitation, but the damage was done. Rachel had established herself as someone who wasn't afraid to air her grievances, and Disney appeared ready to step in to smooth things over. Her next PR stumble came while promoting Shazam, Fury of the Gods. While most actors dive into discussions about the film's plot or their experiences on set, Rachel took a blunt approach. She admitted she took the role because she needed a job. While that kind of honesty might be refreshing, in private, it came across as dismissive of the film and its creators. Fans were alienated, and the film's promotional efforts took a hit. And just when it seemed like things couldn't get worse, Rachel showed up at a publicity event wearing a t-shirt with a bold, in-your-face message, further cementing her image as a provocateur.
My preference as well.
Why your preference?
Well, look, I'm going to be 72 years old tomorrow. I've put in almost 50 years. There are other things in life that I'd like to do. I am confident that the board will be able to identify an able successor.
What could have been a quirky fashion? Statement or playful rebellion soon began to look more like outright contempt for her critics. Those who were still on the fence about Rachel started to take sides. Was this new Disney princess turning into a brand risk? The question began to buzz, and then came the knockout punch. Rachel publicly criticized the original Snow White and The Seven Dwarfs, a bold move, especially in an era where reverence for classic films often leads to success. She dismissed the 1937 classic as outdated, revealing that she had only watched it once as a child because it scared her. But it didn't stop there. She even took aim at the central romance, calling it antiquated and suggesting it should be swapped for more modern themes. While some younger viewers might have shared her sentiment, lifelong Disney fans felt completely betrayed. Snow White wasn't just another princess. She was the very cornerstone of Disney's animated legacy, the princess who helped build the empire. For many, hearing the new Snow White trash, the film that started it all, was like a slap in the face. The firestorm only grew hotter when leaked set photos surfaced, showing the dwarves potentially replaced by magical creatures of diverse backgrounds. The speculation ran wild. Was Disney trying to avoid stereotypes, or was this a messy attempt to modernize something beloved? Whatever the intention, the final product left fans feeling the result was both cluttered and unfaithful to the cherished dynamic that made Snow White iconic in the first place.
With technology creating opportunity for us, I find very enjoyable. The creative process at its highest level is at times frustrating, but often, and fortunately for us, really.
Rumors of reshoots and the project's budget skyrocketing to over $200 million were swirling. What started as a fairy tale remake now seemed to be mired in controversy. And when the first teaser trailer dropped, the backlash was instant. Within days, it shattered records, racking up over 1 million dislikes, sending a clear message that audiences weren't about to support a film they felt was insulting. Branding experts warned that the backlash could be catastrophic, and they were right. Instead of sparking excitement, the trailer seemed to validate every fear people had about the film's direction. Disney quickly responded by delaying Snow White by a full year. Officially, they cited the ongoing strikes and the need for more post-production work. But insiders whispered that the delay was really a chance to rework major parts of the film in response to the crushing public backlash. The project had already burned through millions, and with the specter of a massive flop hanging over it, the stakes couldn't have been higher. Meanwhile, fans, parents, animation lovers, and casual moviegoers felt alienated by what they saw as Disney's attempt to overhaul a beloved classic. The pressure was mounting, and Rachel, caught in the whirlwind, issued an apology. But many saw it as hollow, more of a carefully crafted PR statement than a heartfelt expression of regret. Critics wasted no time tearing it apart, dismissing it as a shallow, last-ditch effort to save face.
For them was to not hear the noise as much, to continue doing the job that we've entrusted them to do, right? Which is to tell the truth, to state the facts, to present the news in an accurate and a fair and a timely basis.
The situation took an even more intense turn when fans began pointing out the glaring double standard between how Disney handled Rachel's controversial comments and how they treated other figures. Like Gina Carano, who was fired from The Mandalorian due to her social media posts. Despite Rachel's repeated controversies, she seemed to be shielded from facing any real consequences, and this was a slap in the face for many. The growing resentment only fueled the fire, as fans started to question Disney's selective treatment of controversial figures. By the time Rachel's apology had run its course, the damage was already done. Fans weren't buying it. They saw her behavior as a recurring issue, not just a one-off mistake. It painted a picture of someone who lacked respect for the traditions that Disney was built on, and worse, someone who seemed disconnected from the very fans who made Disney a global powerhouse. YouTubers and influencers jumped into action, dissecting every new development and feeding the relentless cycle of controversy. Instead of the film generating buzz for its creativity or fresh take, it was buried under a cloud of negative publicity. Any potential positivity was quickly overshadowed by the non-stop drama, making it nearly impossible for Snow White to regain any traction.
If they play Getaway Car or Maroon, she's on crisis watch. Not only did she play Getaway Car, she also played Maroon. I was having a mental breakdown in the audience.
As the release date of Snow White loomed closer, speculation about the film's fate reached a fever pitch. Could Disney possibly recast or rewrite parts of the film to save face? Fans were torn. Some remained fiercely loyal to the original, unwilling to support a version they felt mocked their beloved story. Others were curious, intrigued by the spectacle of it all. A few even defended Rachel's right to voice her opinions. Yet, the overwhelming negativity surrounding the film drowned out these more moderate voices, turning the conversation into a tidal wave of criticism. In many ways, Snow White has become a cautionary tale, a shining example of the risks involved in reimagining a beloved classic while simultaneously alienating the very audience that made it a cultural cornerstone. The film isn't just a financial gamble, it's also a reflection of a deeper cultural clash. Disney has long thrived on nostalgia and family values, but with this new, controversial direction and an actress who seems to dismiss the very legacy she's part of, the company is facing its toughest challenge yet. Industry insiders are divided. If Snow White manages to succeed at the box office, it could vindicate Disney's approach of modernizing older properties. But if the film bombs, it will stand as a stark warning of what can go wrong when you mishandle a remake.